has really transformed my life. It changed it completely. I don't do anything else. I'm not fucking painting doors. I'm just
riding the dicks of these cunts.
You guys were willing enough to support me sucking dicks of these cunts.
I'm riding dicks.
Oh, she's gonna do it.
So long, so long.
Riding the dicks of these cunts. So long.
He's riding the dicks of these cunts.
So long.
Dicks of these cunts.
Just riding dicks.
Riding dicks.
You like it, don't you?
We're riding dicks.
Dick riding fucking line.
Like if I made a live stream and I titled
They're riding dicks.
it works really well in the search engine.
All these people in the chat, they're just riding dicks.
They jumped on it. They jumped on it.
Without touching.
Jumped on.
They were riding dicks.
We're taking you guys with us.
I'm a fat 8 inches, mate. Forget the 6 inches.
Is this anything I can do, Mookie?
Riding.
It's this last fight.
I'm riding dicks here.
That's it. I'm riding dicks here.
He's riding dicks here.
Riding dicks.
I'm actually glad I was born with just one eye. Here. Haters.
You dick riding fucking line.
We're riding dicks.
Quattro B.
We're at a gay bar having dinner.
He's riding the dicks of these cunts.
They're riding dicks.
This might be like a prisoner exchange.
It's like hiring a hitman.
What do we have to do for some clips around here?
Watch Nicholas come back. I'm riding dicks here. I'm riding dicks here. I'm riding dicks here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. This is The Narrative. We are on the Horology Dungeon, guys, and we have a scandal to reveal today. Before I get into the scandal, guys, I will say hello to everybody in the chat. First in the chat is our boy Mathis, who says, blame Marcelo. Yes, always blame Marcello. Neo's saying Marcelo and Mommy are in our prayers. Yeah, I haven't really heard an update on Mommy. I spoke to Marcelo a few days ago, and he had mentioned that Mommy, this must have been like last week, so he then mentioned Mommy was supposed to come home on Friday. Haven't really heard anything from him, so Marcelo, if you're listening, let us know, hop on, and then we can let everybody know what's going on with our dear Mommy. Neo's saying, what's up to Mathis? We got Logan Hall. Where has Marcelo been lately? Yeah, you know what? I think it's, he's caring for his wife, and yeah, I think he's going through a bit of a tough time. He did do a live stream a few days ago for a couple hours, so hopefully he's doing okay. Marcelo is a friend of the channel, friend of the verse, and we are thinking of him and his wife. We got Ryan Hoffrey, J. O'Frey. Not sure. You should correct us in the chat, Ryan, how to pronounce your name, because Archie with his Ryan J. O'Frey gets me every time. We got Dodger in the chat, says, let's go. Yep, Dodger. It's going to be a bit of a banger today, talking about a scandal. And Dodger, you'll probably appreciate this because you were in the thick of it when it was happening. We got our boy Bezels in the chat. We won't let Archie get canceled. Yeah, that's actually why I'm doing this stream. Is it's to show you guys kind of the concerted effort that's going on in the background. There's claims of no boycotts and no, I'm a fan of Archie's and I would never do such a thing, right? And then we actually have clear evidence. It was actually reported on another channel. I'm going to be playing the clips. I'm going to be kind of showing you guys what I see from these emails that you guys are going to see here. But yeah, we'll get into it in a second here. My boy Saad, who says, again, Haram Zadgi. Yeah, you know what, man, Saad? It's going to be some fun tonight. I think Archie's not on for another hour, so I can entertain the crowd with a bit of drama. Until then, we got Mobster in the chat, always with the best avatar of the day, Mobster. Gets me every time. Ken Fresno, nice to see you. We got Gary the Gangster. Gangster, I actually watched your show this morning. talking about kind of your granddad and the just the going on Facebook and finding stuff about your history as well as other people that knew your grandfather. So really, really touching story. So if you guys haven't seen it, it was on the Lux show this morning. Gary the Gangster hops on, talks to us about his family and shares a lot. It was really, really cool, man, to hear that from our good friend Gary. Billy Jeans, PhD, always supporting. Let's run this, boys. Yes, sir. And let's see here. Am I missing anything? We got M2 Carlino. Nice to see you, my man. M2 Carlino, always here for the drama, not here for the bullshit. We got Brody in the house. Scandal in the Archieverse. Say it ain't so. Yeah, it's you know what? It's to the point where I actually wanted to review this with you guys, give you guys my take, see what's up. We got my boy Bufaris. Nice to see you, Bufaris, as always. We got our first super chat of the night. Happy Meal, $10. Tan, you never do dungeons. Yes. You know what's funny, Curly? I actually, if you look at when I do dungeons, it's apparently on Tuesdays because I've like Rebel stream tickers like a few times, and he hasn't been happy about that, and I never pay attention. It's always on Tuesday, but yeah, weird coincidence on a Tuesday. Versace boy in the chat saying what's up. We got John Galt, AOG. MCM, look, I tried to get your number from Mike the Snake. I actually reached out to him when you told me, hey, get my number from Mike the Snake. And Mike the Snake at the time, this was before the meet, said, hey, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who MCM is. Now, also MCM, not to think that Mike is, fibbing or anything here. He also didn't know who Toyota Mo was when we met him. So I'm like, hey, Mike, we're going to meet Toyota Mo. And have you ever met him? He's like, nah, I don't really know who that guy is. So yeah. And then when we were there at the restaurant, Toyota Mo had to explain to Mike who you were. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I do know him. So that was all on Mike the Snake, or else you definitely would have got a call from me. You got Big Daddy in the house. I thought the puppeteer had given up pulling the strings. We can talk about that. Feel free to super chat, and I will answer your questions. We got Neo, $10. Wu-Tan, are you here, or are you going to stop playing with our emotions? The golden path of peace and love demands answers. Well, I'm here, man. Am I not here? Is this AI, Tan? You tell me, buddy. You tell me. Archibald Chesterfield III is your papi, and then we got the grievance carport will be chatted. All right, guys, let's get into it. Say hi to everybody in the chat, and I'm going to review a show, and I'm going to do clips from the show from another channel that actually received emails during basically about a month ago when a lot of the drama started. This is even pre Archie's son's death. And these are never before seen emails. Like, I didn't hear about these during the time it was happening, but even back then there was a concerted effort, a real organized effort attempting to cancel Archie, attempting to recruit other channels to go against Archie. And one of those channels has actually come out and actually spoken. Their topic of the show, the clip I'm going to play, is on it's on Watch Nicholas. It's not really, I'm not really going to cover too much about my opinions of Watch Nicholas. You'll hear it in his part of the segment or whatever as this guy's going through it. But I do want to address like some of the emails, give you my perspective of what was happening during that time, and really reveal to you guys that there is a real organized effort to go against Archie. It's still going on, as you guys have seen. You guys saw my last statement when I was here about a week ago, telling the chat, hey, look, if you guys want, Bear back and you think that that's going to save the channel, I'm happy to boot OC out, and I'll part my ways because, again, as you guys have seen, don't really agree with certain pieces of Bear's behavior over the last little bit. But tonight I'm going to show you guys a bit of a scandal that was happening that is still going on. And it's very, very cognizant for the Archieverse to be aware of what's happening. We've got Sam Davidson, £3 British with a super sticker that is a dancing lemon that says bump fist. All right. Thank you so much, Sam Davidson. All right. So let me share the screen and let's get into this clip. And I'm going to see. Let's make it a bit bigger. So, right off the gate, I'm going to try to see if I can expand this a bit. If I can, I don't think it's going to let me. But I'll really read out this email before we get into the clip. And the title of this email is Archie Luxury, aka Paul Pluta, getting canceled, due to and Lus. This is from the channel. It's from Lus LUS, his channel where he's doing this video. He's definitely redacted, obviously, the email, the name of the person who was emailing him, but he's kept a lot of information up. So I'm going to read the email that's written here, and then we'll get into the clip. super quick. 22 Turkish lira from our good friend Osman Alver. It is a dancing lemon that says cool. Thank you so much, Osman. We appreciate all the support. But let me read the email out to you guys first, and then I'll get into the clip. So the email reads, "Hello, Tony." So he's referring to Lus. He's emailing Lus, and he's saying, "This is an anonymous tip. Archie Luxury raged against Marcelo Time (brackets who is Jewish) and threatened to, and everybody knows what happened there. This is being played out in real time. Watch Nicholas, Docs Report, and Crappy Luxury have streamed against this and are monetizing the drama. Oddly enough, Marcelo, and this is an interesting part of this email because it kind of shows really the intent of what's happening here, right? It's not an intent to honorably cancel somebody because of outrage. It's clearly somebody who wants to harm Archie, is trying to team up with other channels to do that and really end someone's business, right? And this is really, really interesting because in this part of it, he writes, oddly enough, Marcelo Time has forgiven Archie. Now, what does that mean? Oddly enough, Marcelo, and this is where Marcelo has been criticized for, probably up until now, even for him giving forgiveness, and being attacked for doing that, right? So I don't think the intentions here are anything but somebody who wants to actually organize an entire group of people, and they're mentioning them. They're saying watch Nicholas, Docs Report, and Crappy. Even though we know Docs Report doesn't monetize anything, we know it's not that's not something he does, but is claiming that in this email is claiming that Crappy and watch Nicholas are now. Says, oddly enough, Marcelo Time has forgiven Archie, but this won't stop the inevitable. Okay, so when you hear that, and if I read that again, oddly enough, Marcelo Time has forgiven Archie, but that won't stop the inevitable, right? So this individual that's emailing Lus to join this organized, concerted effort, this concerted, I don't know, good guy alliance. You tell me, right? They're naming, names in the good guy alliance here, but a definite concerted effort to cancel Archie's show, to end his business, to attack him. And look, he's using, these aren't my words, right? I'm not speculating the word cancellation. It's in the fucking title of the email when I play the clip. Archie Luxury, aka Paul Pluto, getting canceled. So look, let me play the clip for you guys. I'm gonna stop it. Not Lux. It's Lus, Lus. He has a channel. This video is actually on his channel. Definitely check it out if you guys want to see it. But I'll play some of the clips. I'm gonna comment over it. Obviously, fair use. Lus does show up to the dungeon, so hopefully, if he's here. Appreciate this video, Lus. It was very informative. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with this statement. The behind the scenes good guys, right? Yes, Carol. Behind the scenes good guys. All right, let's get into what Lus has to say. Now, again, the topic of this video is really about Watch Nicholas on Lus's side, but there's a lot of relevance here for us in the Archieverse. Again, Lus's opinion on Watch Nicholas. They have a lot of history. It's not really my opinion, but yeah, let's kind of hear what he has to say.
So I am going to talk about Watch Nicholas. I have actually been sent this email, and the email, which I'm going to keep anonymous, has asked me around sometime May and June.
And this is the first thing. The individual asked to be kept anonymous. The faceless fuck who is trying to literally, take food off, Archie's, kids' table, wants to remain anonymous. I'm here. Y'all have all seen my face. Y'all all know my name. I go on camera, I stay off camera, but I'm here. I use my name, guys. You guys know who I am. And but this little coward over here is wants to remain anonymous. Now, Lus, being a good guy, wants to obviously respect that. We got a £2 super chat from Rich Mitch, who says, Lux touched me. Now, Rich, I know that you did say to Archie that Lux did touch you in a good way, so we're gonna take it for that. Not Luxy Poo. It's funny how and that's why I put up the little thumbnail as a Lux report just to create a bit more confusion. But let's see what Lux has to say.
If I would team up with Watch Nicholas to take over the Archieverse, and I was like, no, I
don't know if he's going to take over the Archieverse. I think I think Lus may have got this a bit wrong. It's they're asking Lus to team up with Watch Nicholas, and this isn't Watch Nicholas asking, by the way, guys. Don't get confused. This is somebody, an anonymous, faceless fuck, who's emailing Lus, who's a separate channel, to join a concerted effort, an organized effort of good guys, the Good Guy Alliance, to essentially, and again, in the title of this email, you can see cancel Archie, right? But they all claim that that's not what they're trying to do.
Don't really like Watch Nicholas. He's never treated me with respect, and I don't owe him any respect. The two issues I've had with Watch Nicholas, number one, was he pretended to be an entirely different person for donations. When Anthony doxed a Nicholas.
So here again, this individual. So these are multiple emails that Lust received, asking to join a concerted effort, an organized effort of good guys to cancel Archie. Now, so multiple emails here. It reads, "Hi Tony, this will make Watch Nicholas even more money. Super chats is how these micro channels work." So this individual is attempting to, really, I don't know, entice Lust to join the the concerted effort, the good guys effort to cancel Archie. It seems like they're trying to point out, hey, this is how much money Watch Nick is making. Maybe you should go and consider trying making that money. But yeah, let's. We got a couple super chats here. The Magpie member, 15 months. This is a clear effort to cancel Archie by spreading the in-house drama. Yeah, I mean, this was played on somebody else's channel, Magpie, but they've redacted all of the information of who this is. But yeah, definitely a clear effort. I'm seeing it. I mean, there's multiple emails here being sent to Lust trying to convince him to join. Now, Lust, as you guys have heard, has said he's not really a fan of Watch Nicholas. They've have history. Yeah, Rich Mitch, £2. I feel respected. Absolutely, Rich Mitch. When when you clarified it, I was like, okay, Rich Mitch is he's trolling Lux a bit. Who is Lust? Lust does his own thing. He mostly was, I guess he was covering a lot of TPG stuff. Definitely, he does come to the dungeon. I've seen him around here once in a while. Obviously, if he's listening, just he can feel free to hop on the panel if he likes to talk about it. But I'm just going to kind of again, he talks a lot about Watch Nicholas here, which isn't really the topic, but this part of the whole email reveal of what this individual is trying to do to actually join up, with other people that they're claiming are, organizing, a cancellation effort against Archie.
It was a different Nicholas, which Watch Nicholas has admitted multiple times himself. I've watched those clips. I've been sent those clips, and Anthony Farrar also admitted in a live stream that he had, unfortunately for the family, doxed the wrong family. So he sent one of his minions.
What's interesting is, and again, I don't know, if you guys can see this at the bottom. It says, I don't know if this is a string of emails, because it could be, but at the very, very bottom of this email, it says from Tony to, and it writes Bear as in Bare. I don't know if that's the individual emailing. It's not written like Bear Clooney watches. It's not written like that. But it's written to someone, and I guess he writes to them saying, how much do you think a channel like Watch Nicholas makes, right? Because obviously this individual is saying, hey, you should join this effort to cancel Archie, because you see all this money that's being, guys, Lus is around here, right? He sees the super chats. He's well aware of what goes on in the Archieverse. He's not he's not new to this. I think whoever reached out to him thought that he was new to it or whatever, but yeah, he doesn't seem new to it. But yeah, interesting that the name is Bare at the bottom, Bear.
And they actually didn't get the right Nicholas, right? And they published their information, the family information. They had pictures of his sister, which obviously you understand what's going to happen online.
Now you can see here, whoever this is trying to send Lus screenshots from Playboard. Okay, so for those that know, I mean, there's what's called the Mookie board. Definitely subscribe to the Mucosa app, where you can get Mookie stats. But the money that even Docs reports on all the channels is provided by Mookie. Now, this individual is using Playboard. I do know a couple of individuals that constantly refer to Playboard. Check the Playboards. But yeah, very, very interesting that they're sending Playboard figures to Lust to entice him to join this concerted effort to cancel Archie.
He never stood up and said, hey, that's not me, until after the donations ran out. when he was under attack, I was 100% supportive of him. In my opinion, he's not going to agree with me. I give him the best piece of advice that I could give him, which is call the police. If it is true that you're
All right, so let's continue here on the emails. If you want a copy, you need to contact Watch Nick themselves. So basically, they're trying to speak on what I mean. This clearly shows that like Watch Nick wasn't attempting to contact Luss. This was somebody else, and basically saying, hey, like I don't have all his figures. You should reach out to him. So if you read further down here, if you join forces with Watch Nick to expose Archie in his disgusting ways, he would help you, I think. He would know of you, and I think he would assist you because Archie will be rallying all the mutual donors to turn on Watch Nicholas. He would possibly help you by releasing his content to you. So again, a very organized effort. This isn't I'm a singular channel and I'm outraged and whatever. This is hey, let's all join forces. Let's recruit other channels to cancel Archie, essentially, right? And again, understand the time period of when this was happening. This was the timestamp of the email says June 2nd, so definitely a very this is definitely kind of in the pre-London days or pre-time London. Really at a time when Archie was at his lowest, said a despicable, disgusting comment. A lot of fear, a lot of anger in the in the Archieverse. And obviously a group of channels allegedly here, and again, a lot of this is still continuing, guys. It's not like it was over. It's not like anything's been over, and we're already into like mid-July, right? So a month and a half of this of concerted, organized effort to cancel the channel. And really, let's just stop here, right? Like, do we really want the Archie Luxury channel to go away? There's those few that are out there that probably do. And again, like I showed in the previous email, they are number one questioning Marcelo's like forgiveness, which is like strange. It clearly shows an area of this, it really shows somebody being disingenuous about their whole purpose of reaching out. They're not reaching out because they're outraged. They're reaching out because they have an agenda, and that agenda is clearly written to cancel Archie. But really, really interesting the fact that they're being so organized, showing playboard figures, attempting to I wouldn't say bribe, but entice other channels to join the effort against Archie. And now, Luss is, number one, whoever emailed Luss probably didn't understand the relationship that Luss has with Watch Nicholas. I was obviously on the Watch Nicholas channel last year. Luss named Watch Nicholas, I think, the number 6 most influential individual in taking TPG down. Archie was number 2, apparently. But it was really funny that Nick was given the number 6, and I used to call him Sixilus because of that. But yeah, just those two would never actually probably work together. All right, so let's continue here and let's go through.
Your life is in danger. You must call the police. At least have a police report on record. Knock on wood. Hopefully nothing happens. Have a police report on record, just in case. That way the police can take you more seriously should it escalate. And at that point, it looked like it was.
Yeah, Van Lux. He gave Watch Nicholas the number 6 spot, which was really funny at the time because I was like trolling Watch Nick about it for like forever. But yeah, he said Watch Nick was the number 6 most influential person to take TPG down. Archie was number 2.
Escalating quite fast. But if you are not the person that was under attack and you were pretending the whole time, then you don't need to call the police, right? Just let the other person.
All right, so obviously this individual now realizes after a conversation with Luss in this email says, I had no idea he hates you. I believe Watch Nick turns on everyone. He burns a lot of bridges. I actually thought you guys were on the same side against the thief TPG. Again, somebody who doesn't really understand the playing field, thinks that they can entice people with money. They, and look, Luss was definitely curious. How much does he make? But I don't think the playboard figures really were that crazy. I can't. Okay, so this is an interesting clue here, guys, because again, Luss is not revealing who wrote these emails to him, who was, really organizing this effort to cancel Archie. Luss is saying nothing about that. You can see everything's redacted here, and Luss is, he's respecting to keep the source's name anonymous. But that doesn't stop us from looking at little nuances in what they're writing, and seeing what's happening here. And let's kind of see here, because you see right at the bottom, I can't get past his behavior. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that on the screen. I can't get past his behavior. Look at the way behavior is written. Okay, no Americans writing behavior with a U. I'm telling you that right now. So this is definitely someone from England, from Canada, and Australian fans, ping in the chat if you guys also write behavior that way, the British way, because I would assume countries of the colony, countries of the Commonwealth, former colonies outside of the United States would write it that way. Now, this is where I can pretty much deduce that whoever wrote this email is not coming from the United States. Now, we can also then extrapolate and think about, well, there was a lot of vocal people, against Archie, in England. A lot of his British fans, some of his British fans were pretty vocal about him. Were hanging around the Watch Nicholas's channel, and maybe some of them have hung around Luss's channel. I think if you ever really look, at that connection around who, hangs around those channels, potentially from England or Canada or Australia, you could probably deduce, who it could be. I mean, Sam Davidson says you're dead on. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely somebody. No American, no self-respecting American's ever going to say Z and is going to put U. When they write the word behavior, they're going to say Z and they're going to drop the U. So very easy to identify that this individual is coming from probably, like I said, England or the UK. Canada, Australia. I mean, my Australian fans, in the chat haven't really said anything, but I'm assuming also Australia. So again, concerted, organized effort by somebody who I don't think it's Docs. Again, Docs wouldn't write behavior that way. Don't think it's Nick, because obviously Nick would not email Luss. Like, it doesn't make sense for those guys. But yeah, very, very interesting, the choice of words. Billy James PhD might pick David Connolly. I'm not sure, man. It could be, right? It could be. David Connolly's from the UK. I don't really know how much he follows the drama. He really only popped up recently. I think we were doing a dungeon maybe a month ago, and I don't know if it came up or I was, kind of saying, hey, David, like, banned a bunch of us, and and David was actually listening, so he hopped on, and it's been all settled, unbanned, all good. He's been hopping around. So I don't think it's David. Like Billie Jeans, there was a lot of vocal people. And again, if you really want to deduce who it actually is, I would say find the common denominator by, if somebody's from, England or UK, Canada, Australia, that hops around. And really I think the key channel to look at is the Luss channel, LUS. This is the guy whose channel we are playing this video from. I'll put his name in the chat here. Really see who else watches the Luss channel. I don't really watch Luss's content. This video was sent to me. I thought it was a well done video overall, and really eye opening in terms of, because there's this whole narrative going around that there's no concerted effort to go at Archie, right? Everyone's just, people are just, they're making up their minds for themselves. They're not being brainwashed or attempt to be brainwashed. You can see here from these emails, somebody is literally, trying to entice other channels to say, join our effort because this is how much money can be made, showing how much money Watch Nicholas was making, to get, other channels that aren't even really involved in the Archieverse to join in and essentially, like the topic of the email said, to cancel Archie. Magpie says UK number one. I mean, it could be the UK, could be Canada. Canadians, I write behavior the same way. This is why Magpie, I picked up on it. Because whenever I write, words like that, behavior, or other words with the U, the Americans immediately hop on and say, Canadians, or, that's the British way of writing it. Like I said, that's why I'm saying no Americans writing this email. That's why I can pretty much, we can pretty much exclude, the United States from discussion here. Patrick B says, I watched him last year when the TPG story broke again. Yeah, look, Luss is, like I said, he's part of the whole TPG, really all the streams that were going after TPG or recovering TPG. It's a whole different group of channels. I don't really like TPG. I wasn't around when TPG was big, so it wasn't really somebody who I was interested in. However, obviously when the scandal happened, it's like big time news. Ryan Hoffrey says Luss is legit. And Joe says, how does Rodent 100 spell those words? I don't think Rodent 100 really chats that much. I think Rodent 100 mostly just drops emojis, but yeah, not sure. Yeah, honor and honor. Exactly. You can easily pick this off in terms of like where this individual is from. And it's more the sensationalism, Magpie, of like, hey, look, if you're gonna, everybody was allowed to be outraged and have their opinions and, and definitely choose to react and act, and really process in their own way. And I think everybody did do that. But this is happening in the thick of it where somebody is sending out emails to channels that are outside of the Archieverse. I wouldn't consider Luss as part of the Archieverse. He does come around. He drops the odd message in the chat, and doesn't stay for too long, right? But yeah, it's just really really weird that like that someone would go and try to like do this concerted effort outside of the Archieverse. And this is really why I'm saying, guys, like this effort hasn't stopped. And the narrative is being spun that there's no effort, well, there's no boycott, there's no attempt of anything to do that because they don't want it to be revealed. Now, I didn't even have access to these emails until now. Like this became public today, and it was sent to me, and I looked at it, and I think a lot of people are going to obviously find Luss's comments about Nicholas interesting. Again, for me, it's not the purpose of this stream. If you find it interesting, obviously this is Luss's commentary. I'm commenting more about on these emails that are being sent to Luss and how they kind of relate to that time period about a month ago when Archie is now kicked out of the bro house and Archie is kicked out of Time London. And some folks are distancing themselves from him, and rightfully so, I would say, right? Like, I don't think that anybody did anything wrong in that case. If they wanted to do that, that's fine to do that, with your own. But I don't really agree with trying to recruit channels to take Archie out. And again, these aren't my words, guys. That's the title of the email. It says to cancel Archie. Like, it's not, hey, no, I'm not saying you wrote this, Bear. I said that I said that the email was written by somebody from, well, probably either the UK, Canada, Australia. There is part of this email that says Bear, but it writes Bear as BARE, not BEAR. And I actually pointed that out earlier in the stream if you rewind. So no, I'm not accusing you of writing that email. But however, Bear, I mean, it could be, it can obviously be written by me as well, because I'm from Canada and I write behavior the same way. Why would I write that? Probably wouldn't make a lot of sense because, I was the most involved with, talking to everybody around when the situation happened, looking at, hey, where do we want to go with this? How are you guys feeling in the bro house? Has sentiments changed with Archie's, apologies and his actions, and really working with the team to make sure London happened. So yeah, I mean, it really doesn't really make sense to me, and no, I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to you either, Bear. But yeah, from my perspective, it could be well, it's definitely somebody I believe from those areas. Rodent 100, you just need to drop how you write the word behavior, and then you can let us know if you're from America. Yeah, let's see what else Luss has to say here.
Take the heat for you. So that is number one. I have no respect for that individual because of that action. Had that happened to me, I would absolutely say, hey, that's not me. And, I have my full name here. I'm my company here. I get nasty reviews all the time. So that's a different viewpoint that I have than him. And number two, which I think is probably the main reason he probably doesn't like me, when we were doing TPG, my videos were not doing well. They were getting 100. Some videos would get less than 100 views because there was a market.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I actually heard this on Doc's report earlier. Like, I think he was calling out Higgins for like getting some like 80 views or whatever. And I think it's the same thing here. Luss is saying, right? Like, everybody's got to start somewhere, and all channels start off small. So I never really got that whole thing about your channel only gets so many views. But hey, what can you do, boys? What can you do?
At the time, we weren't really covering drama or legal issues. We're doing just straight up marketing. And he would always make fun of my views and my subscribers and so on. He would always post things like on subscribe to me, send money now, right? And then
So Magpie is asking or saying it could be someone from Reddit. Could be someone in Reddit. No, I think that like the information is, the information is pretty specific, Magpie. Like this individual had specific information. They know how to check Playboard. Like, and I mean, there's lots of people that know how to check playboard. I mean, the Narc always talks about playboard, right? Like, it could be anybody, but it was very, very specific. We do have the man himself, whose video we are playing in the house. We have Lus, who says catching up on the stream, pretty interesting stream. Yeah, Lus, I for me, what's the most interesting is the effort, because Lus, I don't know how much you I don't know how much you follow the Archie verse, but there's been this whole narrative being spun that, like, no, I like Archie, and I don't understand why Archie hates me, and I like Archie. There's no concerted effort to to go after him, or cancel him realistically, or do whatever, right, or boycott. There's a lot of words that have been spun over the last month and a half, but this is what I find super interesting, Lus, is the fact that they reached out to you. A guy who obviously watches some of the the channel, and Lus does confirm that not Bear. Not sure why Bear thinks he's being accused of writing this, because you can literally, if you rewind the stream, I literally said I don't think it's Bear, and I literally said it again. But yeah, Bear, if you want to keep that's actually called circular logic. It's like when your argument is literally the statement you're making. So no, I don't really understand that, Bear. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Definitely circular logic to me. But yeah, no one's accusing Bear. But what I am saying, Lus, is I do feel that. I do feel that whoever wrote this to you, Lus, because I'm reading the words that they're writing, and they write it with behavior with the OU. I mean, the only people from the UK, Canada, and I think Australia, those kind of countries would write it that way. But there's a lot of other countries as well, but definitely not an American would write it that way, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that, like I said, whoever wrote this email to Lus didn't really know, didn't really know that the playing field, right? Because Lus, I find it funny. I always found it funny that you ranked Nicholas number 6, most influential guy that took down TPG, because I always used to troll him with the name hashtag Sixilus. I used to call him Sixilus because you gave him number 6, and you put Archie Luxury ahead of ahead of Watch Nicholas, which I've just found pretty funny. But yeah, no, let's hear what our boy Lus has to say. And let's Lus says we have to keep our source anon to get more sources in the future. Yeah, Lus, it's not even about the source, right? Like I don't think it's even needed to have a witch hunt to find who said it. I think like Bear is kind of misinterpreting the point of the stream. It's not to because again, nobody has definitive proof of who this is. Lus has been, very vocal about the fact, as well as on his show here, stating that, he's going to keep it anonymous, and Lus isn't going to change that. And nobody's going to ask Lus to do that, because that's not really the point, right? It's not really the point of accusing or pointing the finger and saying, well, I know it's Tan, or I know it's Tommy, or I know it's Curly, right? Like, it's about the fact that, like, the narrative is being spun that, like, we're not trying to, yeah. Can I get a thank you too, Bear? Like because I was the one who denied it about 3 times, but okay, cool. But yeah, like, from my perspective, it's like, where does that narrative stop? Because there's this whole piece around, like, well, there is no concerted effort to do any of this, even though, like, Lus is clearly getting multiple emails showing him how much money Watch Nick is making off of attacking Archie. And look, that's Watch Nicholas's shtick, right? Like, he goes after Archie, he goes after Tim, hasn't gone after Tim recently, which is interesting. Definitely more definitely more analysis I think we could do there, but that's not really going to be the topic today. But what's interesting is just that concerted effort, Lus, and everybody in the crowd, to cancel Archie. Like, those are the words that were written, cancel Archie. And really, I mean, we've got 82 people watching here that follow his channel, hundreds of people who watch his live streams, thousands of views on his videos every day. Like, I think the last thing many people want in his community is for him to be canceled. Should he have been canceled? That's personal opinion, and everybody has the right to have that opinion. And I don't think that that's really the point. What I think the point is that, people are trying to recruit other channels, trying to entice other channels to say, hey, the money that's being spent in the Archieverse that we spend to have fun and, troll and talk watches is being used, is being weaponized to entice other channels that aren't in the Archieverse. Because, for example, like, you know, somebody pointed out earlier, you know, Lust was very instrumental in, you know, really in going after, you know, TPG. Biff says it right here. Lust and Watch Nick were definitely the two biggest channels exposing TPG. So whoever this was, you know, thought that, hey, you know what, we can make Archie the next TPG, and not really understanding that. I mean, Archie never scammed anybody, right? Like he doesn't scam people here. Like, you know, he definitely says extremely offside comments, and he's, you know, it ain't the first time he's done that, right? And he's, you know, his content is very brash, like definitely brash, for sure goes offside, you know, into the violence, the disgusting. It has happened. But, you know, he's not TPG, guys. And, you know, Curly said this numerous times, and I say, like, it's, you know, there's a lot of people that want this show to survive. And really, like, I think a lot of people need to look around the room and really think, like, you know, why would someone email a channel that's outside of the Archieverse to join their, you know, effort? And it's very organized. Like, they're clearly pointing out to different channels that are doing it, how much money they're making. Like, this ain't small time, like, oh, hey, you should consider doing this. No, this is a clear effort to convince somebody that they are attempting to actually go and, you know, and really, you know, essentially cancel Archie.
Didn't want to block him initially, but I had to block him because every comment was send money now, send money now. It's, you know, it didn't make any sense, right? Like, to me, like, why you would continue to do that and why I would allow you to do that and he would make these videos about me many times, and I have been sent these videos, of course, on via email, and they were not great videos, I'll put it that way. So not only did he misrepresent who he was, which I thought was kind of,
yeah, I don't know, like, really this story. I know the part that, like, there was a, you know, a name revealed of Watch Nicholas, and it's not his name. And, you know, I guess Lust is saying that he, you know, knowingly, you know, didn't say anything about, but I mean, I also on Nick's side, he's not going to obviously dox himself, right? But, you know, I guess the way Lust is saying is like, well, you could deny that that's you, and just be, you know, real about it. But, you know, I guess on Nick's side, he also doesn't really want to draw too much attention to his name. I know Nick, you know, well enough that I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that was probably the reason. Okay, good. You've caught up to the stream. In terms of the Archieverse, Lust is like Pluto, sometimes a planet, sometimes currently not. Lust is saying he pretended he was doxxed for money. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that, like, Nick does his shows for money, right? Like, the whole send money now thing it's not even his term realistically. He just adopted it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's unknown. You know, but, you know, what Lust is pointing out here is he feels that it wasn't, you know, being truthful, and, you know, it was just a bit. He feels that, you know, he shouldn't have done that, and, you know, I respect that opinion.
Ridiculous. He also went on. He also was attacking me until I got big enough that he just stopped, for the most part. So I got sent these emails sometime May and June. I wanted to investigate the Archieverse. So I've actually joined these chats. I've been on Tim Wright's stream, and I don't have anything.
Oh, come on, Lust. Yeah, come on, Lust. Don't go diving in the dumpster here. I've been on Tim's stream, man. Come on, Lust. You know, just for you, we're gonna play a little banger here while I get this next one loaded up. Sorry for the little intermission, guys. I have to respect fair use, even though I know Lus is cool. We still respect fair use. We play by the rules here in the Archieverse.
Bad to say about Tim. He seems like a good individual, and from my perspective,
Come on, Lus. Come on, man.
he was like, "Oh," and he always uses like guilt by association. Just because I
Hey, we got the peso cannon himself, GD, 50 Argentinian pesos. Docs Report, the only fair and unbiased news provider to the global watch community, exposing authoritarianism, I think he means lies and deceit. All right, that is GD. Always consistent, always spinning and running the narrative. Sat says, Curly, I watched the stream of a few days back where you and Bear was on. You looked really bad misbehaving with Bear. Bad move. Words from the General Sot himself. Yeah, no, it's not about copyright strikes. Unless we play by the rules. We do fair use, and really, I'm commenting more on the emails that were sent to you because, like I said, for those that just joined the stream, I did go through a number of emails that were revealed on Lus's channel. Lus is in the chat here. Feel free to subscribe to Lus. Does a lot of did a lot of I don't know if you do still do TPG content, Lus, but cool guy, hangs around here once in a while, and we do appreciate that. We got Otto in the chat. What's up, Otto? We got Shot in the Dark. How's it going, Shot? So yeah, let's continue.
I like Tim doesn't mean I agree with everything Tim says. And I'm actually going to make a video about Demolition Ranch and Donald Trump a little later about this. Just because I enjoyed my time on Tim's stream does not mean I endorse 100% of what he says. And this is a very stupid logic that he uses to confuse really stupid people. Because it's not right. Number two, I went on the Curly and OC.
Curly. I went on the Curly and OC. Well, what is the Curly and OC? I don't know what the Curly and OC is. The Curlock. Look, Lus. Curlock is not necessarily a channel. OC has a channel. Mookie has a channel. The Dungeon's a channel. But I think Curlock is kind of all encompassing. It's like Skynet, I guess, these days. I don't know. Curlock, the Curlock channel. Curly OC. We got Mike the Mistake, $2. Nice to see you, Mike the Mistake. A link for the Bear s'il vous plaît. I'm actually wanting to go through my narrative, guys. I'm not trying to derail the stream by going through anything but this. So I want to cover this. Archie's gonna be live. Bear can hop on Archie's. But I didn't even pin the link because I wanted to do it solo tonight.
I've been on a few Curly streams. Very entertaining guy. He used to run the Watch Nicholas streams, right? Watch Nicholas just walks his dog. He does. Even his TPG streams were just him watching TPG and really little commentary. That's how he continued because he was just watching TPG and making fun of him while you.
Yeah, that's par for the course for Nick. Don't see anything wrong with that, Lus. But Nicky Baby does that with everybody.
Using his own content, and I think this is one of the reasons he has had so many channels. I actually talked to a guy who was called P Cars. I know P Cars is a huge donor of Watch Nicholas, and we talked, and it was fine. Like most of Watch Nicholas followers, I have no problems with. And
I love how he says most. I don't have a problem. Less, I pick up on those little subtleties. Mookie's actually very good at it. Like Mookie's actually a genius when it comes out to picking out little subtleties and stuff. But most of his viewers, GD, the Curlock, the unholy alliance between Satan, the devil, and Curly. So for those that don't know, GD's narrative is OC is Satan. So when he says Satan, he means OC. We're not scared to say that here, GD. We like to ensure that definitely everybody's voice is heard here on the Dungeon.
Had he grown the way that he was growing with TPG, had he found his niche, then he probably would get over 30,000. He would probably be one of the bigger Watch live streamers today. And people say, oh, well, he doesn't have time for this. It's very childless. No, he was live streaming yesterday. Like he live streams a lot, guys. For the amount of effort he puts into or the amount of time, it is very weird that he hasn't grown to any. He's the same size as when I first met him, but my channel is not.
Yeah, so I think, Lus, for you to understand what the I guess the logic behind that is, there's a lot of channels that are specifically live stream channels, right? Like they mainly do like specific live streams. That's how they generate their revenue. They're not really, I mean, what Nick does is he literally does a live stream and he puts it private, or he puts it members only, not private, but members only. He does that to protect himself from strikes. It doesn't really protect you that much, but he understands that a person would have to go through the extra step of becoming a member, and then watching the video and then potentially attempting to take down the video, right? So, I mean, Nick's principle of making money is the same as Archie's, right? Purely live streams. Archie doesn't do a lot of content anymore on videos because man cannot live on Google Ads alone. Yeah, I know you're going to get into this here, Lus, because you definitely point out a few things that a bit of history for all of us that weren't around for that time.
We've gone from 10 to 30,000. My other channel is 32. I have 3 channels. One is 32, one's 32, one's 16, and they don't share an audience at all. They're free they're free conceptually different channels. One is about cards, mostly Magic, Pokemon cards. The other one is about legal stuff, sometimes marketing, sometimes TPG. And the other one is about my dog. It's just my Shiba Inu videos.
Shout out to all the dogs, and we are pet lovers, animal lovers, dog lovers. We love everybody.
My Shiba Inu. So while I've been able to grow, he's kind of been stuck in place. So when I was exploring the Archie-verse, I would see Archie would get 300 people watching. I would see the dungeon get 130, 140.
It's a bit of a slow Tuesday here, Lus. We only got 91 viewers, but we appreciate all of our viewers here checking out the show before the Archie Luxury live stream.
Blondie Time did really well on her stream, the one stream I watched. If she streamed more consistently, I think she would be huge as well. Marcelo, he does pretty well for himself. Like people who
Marcelo does do pretty well for himself. We miss the Hebrew Hammer. We hope we hope everything's okay with mommy. And he did stream a few days ago, but we definitely miss the Hebrew Hammer.
Stream have all outgrown Watts Nicholas. And that's kind of why he doesn't like me. He really, really doesn't like me. And I understand why, because if you thought, okay, this guy's the same size as you, and one person is growing and he's not growing, he's stagnant,
Yeah, but that's where I think you get it wrong. Watch Nicholas doesn't care about like how many viewers. Yeah, he could have like 700 viewers. If he ain't making no money, like, it's not his MO, right? Like he cares purely about like what that individual emailed you. And this is maybe why this potentially didn't work with Lus, or obviously Lus probably doesn't need the money, or doesn't care about the money in that sense because he's maybe doing YouTube for another reason. But whether either way, right? Like, Watch Nicholas is purely about the super chats. I don't think he's ever going to say it's otherwise. Is he very good with his chat? Absolutely, he's very interactive with his chat. He has a Discord, all that jazz. He does interact with his community. He's very good at doing that. But look, I mean, it's a business, right? And he refers to it as his business as well, and I think rightfully so. But no, I mean, like I think that I think that Nick doesn't necessarily care about views as much as he does these days about super chats, because I think he's come to the realization that that's all that freaking matters is just money in the bank.
Still has the same number of live viewers he did. He actually has less. I would say during TPG days, he would get 200 concurrent live viewers. Now he's down to 40, maybe 50 on a good night.
So that's kind of referring to a time, I think, when when TPG was in full force on YouTube. Nick was obviously doing his his channel, his videos about trolling TPG and whatnot, and I guess Lus was also doing it and other folks. For Perry TV show, nice to see Perry. If you scroll back earlier in the stream, there's an individual. He's in the chat. His name is Lus. He does videos on TPG and many other topics. He was actually emailed about a month ago to join a organized, concerted effort to cancel Archie. Number of channels have been named. Obviously, the source of the emails, Lus has said he's not going to reveal the source. I've done a bit of, just kind of looking at what was said and knowing what I know in the background, and that's why I'm doing this stream as well for everybody, is because I do know a lot of information that may not be public knowledge, and know who knows those pieces of information, as well as certain clues. And we've kind of deduced that it's likely an individual from UK, potentially Canada, Australia. Definitely not someone from the US is basically what I say. Definitively, we can deduce it's not someone from the United States, but every other country could be could definitely be suspect here. Yeah, for most channels is views and growth. Yeah, like Archie himself has said it, right. There's no money, for him in Google Ads. He's not really, he's kind of behind the times in terms of understanding the algorithm and what makes a channel successful. And really, I think it's just lazy. He doesn't want to put the effort to get minimal views. So yeah, it's super chat dollars all day, every day. Mr. Zoso, member for 12 months. Patel Philippe, keep on rocking in the semi-free world. Mr. Powell, didn't know you were on. Have fun, buddy. Yeah, you know what's weird, Mr. Zoso, was I did set up the show more than 30 minutes in advance, which should give everybody a notification. I did get it on like my laptop, but I didn't get it on my phone, and so I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just YouTube, but yeah, it didn't really get a notification. Although I got notifications of other channels. And yeah, Perry, for sure, man. Anytime. I know you like watching the streams, and we seek to entertain here. We seek to entertain. But let's continue with Lus and his video.
I think his last stream he was under 40 for the majority of the night, and maybe that's why he deleted the channel. The channel has now been deleted. Who knows why? He constantly does that, and that definitely doesn't help with the algorithm. I can say that with 100% confidence. So one of the other things I really just want to mention here is the Watts community is kind of fun to be part of. I obviously...
Hell yeah, 100%. If y'all didn't see the Animal Fries meetup, it was the time of my life, guys. It was the time of my life. Neo, $10. Lus, I heard you say the narc is a lonely, dysfunctional, droopy, eye-deformed, stuttering, loser piece of shit, full of shortcomings and frustrations, a.k.a. a talentless fuck. Defend your comments. Lus is in the chat, and he is, he's definitely allowed to respond, and I will pull up his response for you, Neo. Thank you so much.
Can't just spend time being a panelist because I have Mookie's been really nice. He's asked me twice, and unfortunately,
yeah, Mookie's cool, man, and yeah, Leslie, I would say of all the shows, you should go on. Mookie's channel is great, man. It's everybody's there. People from all different channels. It's really. It's really a cool place, and there's a lot of fun on Mookie's stream. So shout out to Mookie. And Lust response to Neo says, "Where? Never did. I don't even know who the narc is outside of being a panelist. Yeah, he's nobody important, Lust. No need to have any beef with the narc, because that beef will go stale real quick, and the narc will disappear, guys. That's the narc's MO. He'll disappear, and then he'll come back and claim he was. I think the last time it happened, the fact that he's back now, I'll tell you guys how it happened. I was doing drama, I think, on Marcelo's stream. I don't know if I was solo even at the time. And Narc, he starts saying, "Oh, I got a notification, of something that would interest me on Marcelo's channel, and I'm not even subscribed to Marcelo." Yeah, okay, buddy. Nobody, see who believes that. And I just saw this and I hopped on, and then he's been back ever since. So I mean, I don't know, man. But yeah, I can envision a Narc hiatus coming up. Who's Mookie? Mookie makes he makes videos for Wash Nicholas on Wash Nicholas's channel. Oh, okay, got you. That's my best attempt of that. I don't know if I have that clip on here, but that's for you, JJ. Nice to see you. Yeah.
I have to turn them down. The hurricane kind of sucks. So we're still recovering from that. And, having a pregnant significant other during a hurricane, not ideal, if you will. And B, or having a child soon. That's also to say, like, people move on. Like,
hey, by the way, let me take this opportunity, Lus. Big congratulations. You mentioned you're going to become a father. Huge congrats here from me. And yeah, man, that is excellent news.
With their lives. When I first talked about TPG, I wasn't even in a relationship.
And by the way, Perry, this is the original email that Lus posted. Title of the email says Archie Luxury, aka Paul Pluta, getting canceled. So definitely and they name a number of channels here. I don't believe that this was written by any one of these individuals, because all three of them that own these channels are in the United States. So definitely don't think that it's any of them. But this is kind of where it started.
Now I'm expecting to be a dad in less than a month from now. And so it's kind of bizarre that he's still doing his childish little rants about, instead of TPG, now random people, Curly, Tan, Marcelo, Archie himself, right?
Ryan Hoffrey says Tan is hosting the drama pillar. The drama, yeah, man. I don't need no mouthpiece to do my drama, dude. Like that's the funniest thing is his claims that I need a mouthpiece. Like I can come on here and fucking talk my own shit. Like I don't need I don't need mouthpieces to spin the narrative, right? Like so. But yeah, you kind of hear Lus, and I'll rewind it here. Lus is basically saying, I don't really understand. Like, he was going after TPG, now he's going after random people. Let's kind of hear what he says again.
Curly, Tan rants about, instead of TPG, now random people, Curly, Tan, Marcelo, Archie himself, right?
I mean, they weren't even rants. Like, it was straight up slander. Like watching Nick put up my real name, saying that, Tan said this, and he puts a racial slur. Like, Tan said this about me, is what Watch Nicholas put in the title of that stream. And it was up, and he kept it up. Like, he didn't even make that one members only, and there was multiple people in his chat, Blondie, Dirk, Pavel even, calling out Watch Nicholas saying, hey, man, like, show us where Tan ever said this. And Watch Nicholas admits in that stream saying, no, Tan never said that. I just needed a catchy title. So, this is kind of one thing I will comment about Watch Nicholas is, with him and I, we're doing narratives together and whatnot. Like, Watch Nick, one thing about him was he wouldn't make up lies. That was his limit. Like, he was not about making up false narratives and doing false. He didn't want to do that. Say we made up a narrative like OC leaves, Tim and joins the Archieverse, something like that, right? He wouldn't want to run that. He didn't feel it was truthful, and he wanted to, kind of stay on side. Now, when I saw that narrative he was running against me, saying, Tan, it specifically said Tan calls Watch Nicholas and then says racial slur. It was a little like eye opening in the fact that, like, how, like, in my opinion, how much he's crossed the line in that sense, because that wasn't the Watch Nick, from last year. That was, really, I think where a lot of us enjoy that channel. I think he's really kind of gone to another level of extreme, and he was called out. Everybody was asking, even Blondie. Like, Blondie, I think, even came into the chat hot, assuming that I had said that, and then was like, whoa, wait a minute, did Tan actually say this or not? Like, and that's the kind of, like, danger of putting out, stuff like that, is when it's completely untruthful. Like, integrity goes out the fucking window. You know what I mean? Like, integrity goes straight out the window at that point when you said, no, Tan never said that. I just put it up because it's a nice clickbait title, which was clearly like slander. And, I think a lot of people pointed it out to him. We got a member chat from Basil's Bezels. Thank you so much. Who says, Baby Lus, running mad in the field. Baby cow. Yes, the old baby. I don't even know if I have baby cow. Yeah, I think it's the difference for those that write behavior with a U and an O. My friend Mike the Mistake. I think that's the difference.
OC, right? Ocean, right? I mean, he's the same Watch Nicholas he was when I first met him, or not met him online, I guess. While other people have really grown, or Curly and Mookie have something really cool going.
Yeah, see, Lus, the way I've always approached channels, right? Channels that I have interest in, like Marcelo was an example. I don't go and I try to, tell them to, track channels by saying, hey, if you join us, we can go and attack these people, right? Like when Marcelo, when I reached out to Marcelo, it was, he was going to, I had heard his birthday was coming up, and, I said to him, I said, would you consider doing a stream with us for a bit of fun, right? A bit of drama, a bit of fun. You'd obviously get paid for it. Like, it's normal transactions. You do streams for super chats. Would you be interested? And it was at a time when, he was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm with Tim, but, hey, if you're going to pay me, I'll do whatever. And it kind of expanded from there, where he joined the Archieverse, or rejoined the Archieverse from that. I don't really approach channels saying, why don't you join my fight against this person or that person or what have you, right? Like, it's not really what I do. But, this individual emailing you here, Lus, is clearly saying, hey, you need to join us because Watch Nicholas is making so much money and so can you, right? And Lus says it himself. He's like, I didn't dislike anyone in the Archieverse. They were all nice. We've never really, like we said, I respect the channels that, do their own content and put out good stuff. I always say content is king, and Lust does his own thing. So yeah, much respect to that. I was expecting much more hate. Yeah, man. Like I think a lot of people assume that of the Archieverse. The Archieverse is, and this is nothing new, guys. This isn't nothing new of, the time and era of today. The Archieverse was actually probably more toxic back in the old Google Hangout days when, people were running like full-on doxing streams against Suckahorn like every single night. Like every single night they were doing it, doxing his name, calling him, stuff that like clearly was like offside. Like it was bad back then. Like it's the kind of stuff I see here right now. Yeah, it definitely crosses the line, in a lot of cases. But I come from a time here where it was, it was definitely pretty vicious as well. But yeah, no, I appreciate Lus obviously giving us the commentary. This is off of Lus's channel. Definitely check him out. He's in the chat. Subscribe to his channel.
Archie, he's doing really well. Condolences on his recent losses, but his channel I think is doing extremely well. Mookie's got a new channel, right? He's doing well on his channel, and even Marcelo's got a new channel. Like all these people who used to be panelists on his channel, they now have branched off and done great things by themselves without him.
I always find this super intriguing with the playboard figure, because they're sending playboards. Like there's a lot of us know that the playboard figures are well for a while, and I think it was during this time even were pretty fucked up. Like they weren't. I don't think they were working. But even like Docs, he uses the Mookie board now. Mookie's data has always been more accurate, I would say, than playboard. But yeah, like it is interesting that, again, I'm trying to deduce like who this could be, because not a lot of folks, screenshot and send playboard, and not everybody knows what playboard is, so it gets very specific to kind of looking at who's obsessed with playboard figures, who's not in the US, who has motive. And really the motive is an important part of it, right? Is, the motive here is not to inform somebody saying, hey, did you see this? You may not want to, check this, guys. You may not want to see this, but this was what's said, to, basically titling it Archie Luxury is going to get canceled and you should join us in the effort, and pointing fingers to channels saying, well, these channels all are, and I think Lust got it wrong, or sorry, the person who emailed Lust got it wrong because Doc's report isn't monetized. But everybody else is monetized, and this whoever was originally emailing is claiming that they're trying to make money off of it. Where can we download the Mookie app? I believe it's mucosa.co. I'm going to drop that here. If Mookie's around, Mookie, let everybody know where they can get access to the Mookie app. I always told, I kind of told a lot of people this, like, it's hard to keep up with the Archieverse. At one time we had tons of streams. Streams are going on for hours all day long. I only, can watch the Mookie stream, late, for a certain time before I go to bed. And you miss a lot of like kind of what's happening, right? So, I kind of told people, hey, if someone could recap. And that's why, I was doing the locks reports. And even then, right, it's a lot of work because you have to watch. I actually watch all the tape. Like I will watch the shows and then kind of condense into what I thought was interesting. Just like I did here with Lus's video, right? Lus's video is mainly his, he's trying to explain, his viewpoint on Watch Nicholas, and, pointing out the fact that, this individual that was part of this concerted effort, this organized effort to cancel Archie, really point out to that individual that, hey, like, you probably don't know my relationship with Nick, but let me tell you how it is, and let's hear what Lus has to say about it.
And even I would say the bigger donors like Tan, Curly was a big donor, OG Baby Girl, the way that he treats them is so disrespectful.
I would agree with that. I think that, like you can, there's time, and a lot of people are business owners here, and, Nick definitely looks at his channel as a business, and, yeah, I mean, you really don't want, you always want to leave the door for customers to come back, right? Like you don't want to burn bridges with customers, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I think Lus is pointing out here really the obvious here that, hey, even Archie doesn't do that, right? Archie, he understands that, and he said it yesterday. He says, I don't want to have, beefs. I don't like, this is my business, right? And, there really isn't a reason to bring personal beefs that are going to cause problems for my business, right? And I would say that to Nick as well, like causing issues with customers, or customers that may come back. And I'll give you an example. I super chatted Nick about a few days before he put up a show saying Tan calls me a racial slur. Like, I literally super chatted him like a few days before then. Like, it's just like, what? Like, how does that make any sense?
So disrespectful that, like, I can't imagine treating another person like he's treated some of his biggest donors. These used to be your friends, but there's no friend.
So Rob D is asking, where's the proof Watch Nicholas tried to cancel Archie, or is this just a theory? So Rob D, if you're just tuning in, these were emails sent to a channel that is outside the Archieverse. It's the Lust channel, LUS. He's in the chat, and you can read here. These are the emails. He's redacted who sent it to him. They're keeping that name anonymous, but you can see here this individual is clearly trying to recruit Lust and showing Lust how much money that Watch Nicholas is making from him attacking Archie. And the title of the email is Archie Luxury gets canceled or whatever, basically insinuating cancellation. And you can even read here, if the guy writes, if you join forces with Watch Nix to expose Archie in his disgusting ways, he would help you. I think this person, again, clearly doesn't understand Nick and Lust's relationship here. He would know of you, and I think he would assist you, because Archie would be rallying the mutual donors to turn on Watch Nicholas, right? Again, whoever's writing this email clearly is not thinking straight. Like, if Archie's rallying all the donors against Nick, why would like Lust join this fight, right? Like, if the money is with Archie, would you not want to have that money come your way, right? Like, it's a bit counterintuitive, but again, right, like a concerted effort. It's an effort to convince Lust, who's an outside channel. Like, Rob D, this is organized, man. Like, nobody emails random channels that and people who don't know Lust, his history is just like Watch Nicholas was going after TPG and exposing him, so was Lust, right? So they kind of looked at it saying, hey, Lust, why don't you turn your missiles towards Archie, join this group of channels? And the emailer basically points the channels to being Watch Nicholas, Docs, and Crappy. I've pointed out in this show that from reading these emails, you can see the way the person who wrote the email is writing script in a certain way that's probably not the way an American would write. Like, he writes the word behavior with a U. So don't think it's Watch Nicholas. Don't think it's Docs. Don't think it's Crappy who's writing this email. So no, it's whoever's writing this email is really telling Lust to join this whole like concerted organized effort. This was a bigger deal than I thought. I was just using the emails back. I know you were, right, Lust, and that's why I'm not doing this show to be about Watch Nicholas, because it's not, right. Obviously, I'm playing it and people are hearing your opinion, but I mean, this video has been up for hours, right? Like, people can go and see it on your channel. But Lust, what's happening in the Archieverse, and this is why I'm bringing you into the loop, is there's been a lot of denial around. There's no concerted effort. There's no organization to cancel Archie and to, or even to boycott Archie or to do whatever. Meanwhile, there's people emailing you saying, join this effort because you are going to make money. Like, it is a clear, organized, concerted effort to cancel Archie. Yeah, exactly. Make the mistake. Commonwealth country, could be, the UK, could be Canada, could be Australia, right? Could be, it just doesn't point to the United States for me.
Friends, right? It's hard, if you will. So that's kind of my takeaway from Watch Nicholas. Will he return? Yes. But like, here's my suggestion to everyone. And I've even been asked to team up with him from, I guess, one of his fans. This is my main takeaway from Curly, Mookie, Archie, let's say OG baby girl Tan, right? Who else we got? Marcelo, Time, Tim. Just keep growing, guys. Keep growing, and there will be nothing you can do. That's what happened with my channel. I grew it, and then he can no longer criticize my one.
And you can see here, for those that are just tuning in, the emails being sent to Lust. This individual clearly doesn't know the playing field. He had no idea that Watch Nicholas and Lust are actually not friendly. But you can see here at the bottom, the email, it says, I can't get past his behavior. And you see how the way behavior is written with a U? that's what's pointing me to this is not someone from the United States. And again, I would say the easiest way to, if you really care that much, and I don't particularly, like I said, it's not really, the point of the stream is not to try to point the finger and say, oh, this was, this person who said it or that person who said it, because I don't know who said it, or who wrote this email. But, what's important here is understanding, and if you really want to deduce who it is, just look at the common denominator. Who goes on Archie's, who goes on Watch Nicholas, and who goes on Luss's show. And, Luss would probably be the outlier and would probably make it the easiest to identify who it is, who is not an American, right? Probably someone from the UK, probably someone from Canada, probably someone from Australia, and or, like Mike the Mistake points out, a Commonwealth country. Could be anywhere, right? But Jeff's probably not, from the United States. And again, I don't know how much crossover happens on the Luss show. I think a lot of folks didn't know who Luss was until today. So definitely check out Luss. He's being very kind to let us play his video, which, like he said himself in the chat, he says, didn't know this was really a bigger deal. He was mainly putting this as a backdrop for, his talk about Watch Nicholas. And Luss says there's almost zero crossover. So whoever this individual is probably easily identifiable. But again, not really, really my intent, no interest myself to figure it out, because, it's more about letting everybody, kind of a public service announcement to the Archieverse, that there is an organized, concerted effort to try to cancel Archie. And, if you guys are a fan of the Archie Luxury channel, like I've been for many years, and then, I mean, we've got almost 90 people watching, right? There's a lot of people here that like, the shows we put on. This is clearly like, this is clearly going to a next level, trying to recruit channels that are not in the Archieverse to attack Archie. Like, that's a whole nother level of like, hey, shtick and making money, right? Like, to me, it's like, I to the point where I was like, I got to say something. And, because most people wouldn't see this, like Luss says, there's almost no crossover. So most people wouldn't have seen these emails until I did this dungeon. And then been able to, see that, hey, there is actually somebody emailing out there to other channels trying to cancel Archie, and using a method that's very interesting, a method around like showing how much money, Watch Nicholas is making, and trying to entice Luss to join the cancellation effort against Archie.
100 video views. He used to make videos all the time about like how little views I got, because it's marketing videos, right? So it doesn't have that much wide appeal. And now he's stopped for the most part, but he'll be back. And no, he hasn't moved on. He's exactly the same Watch Nicholas as I first engaged with him. Exactly the same character. And you really hope that like people grow, they develop, they mature. I don't think this guy's ever going to mature, to be honest with you. Anyway.
I mean, I don't know about the word mature is the right word. I mean, Nick doesn't really, he said it himself, right? Like, I think OG Baby Girl at one point tried to give him the same advice that you're giving him, Luss. Do different content or try to grow your channel maybe in a different way, right? But, Nick said it to OG Baby Girl. He's like, this is what I do. I do clips. This is how I make money, right? Like, this is the business that I've built. And I think he's right, because, he's found a recipe that works for him. Nothing wrong with that. He, like I said, he's gone after, like, he has a track record of going after everybody. Nobody can deny that. We can point out that he hasn't gone after Tim lately and speculate on that. And like I said, that's probably a whole show in and of itself, right? The fact that all this stuff's going on with Tim, and there's stuff going on with O'Sheen, but Nick is so fixated on not even Archie, right? Like, people that are characters on the show, like sidekicks, donors of his show, like me, kind of a thing. People kind of miss that. And, like Chris said, there's not a lot of crossover that happens with his channel in the Archieverse. So, very, very important to see this, see these kind of, interactions with other channels, because I found this super interesting. I was like, even Luss himself said, Luss said, hey, like, this wasn't really my intent to show these emails and to talk about this, but, didn't really see what was, didn't know the, I guess, the playing field at the time, right? Because back then, in early June, it was like it was very difficult, obviously with what Archie did to to move along, right? It really was, and there was a lot of people that you know just did, were very angry, and rightfully so, to be angry about it, about the comments. And I think that when Archie gets kicked out of the Bro House, gets kicked out of Time London, he's really at his lowest, right? This is even before his son's passed. This is many days before his son passes, and is at his lowest. And honestly, guys, like from my perspective, and I'll tell you this, a bit of stuff that you guys don't. I said this to Toyota Mo when I saw him in San Francisco. When I walked, when Archie was finally, when I guess like Archie was allowed back into the Time London show, and he was allowed back into the Bro House. I kind of went with the mentality of like, you know what, if London is completely tame and just no drama, that's probably going to be good for the show. I think a lot of folks were anticipating, obviously, the Bro House to be this big contentious situation, and really that was the point, right? Like when people talk about the term bum fights and everything else, I think they misunderstand how reality TV works, right? Like you don't put 10 people in a house that love each other, and call that reality TV or quote unquote bum fights, right? Like reality TV is like you put contentious characters, in a house or in a situation, and that's where the conflict comes from, right? And think of any show and reality TV show you've ever seen, Jersey Shore, Big Brother UK, all of these, right? Like it's meant to be that way, right? And that's what people, when people say, oh, the drama is where all the money is, and there's no money in watches. I mean, of course, right? There's a whole industry centered around, reality TV. That's what this is, right? Like, so, you guys can use the term bum fights if you want. It doesn't really matter to me, but that's really what it is. It's reality TV. But when after everything was said and done, and after all of what had happened, I went in with the mentality thinking, you know what, if the Bro House is tame, I'll be good with it. Because look, like this was a really, really bad time in the Archieverse, and it's only coming to light right now that there is was and still is a concerted effort to try to cancel Archie. And look, we're all Archie fans here, right? If you're watching this show, you're likely an Archie fan one way or another. And I don't think anybody wants the show to go. I mean, we have Bear Clooney, in the chat. He's watching the show, so I'm gonna take it that he's an Archie fan still, right? And he doesn't want the show to go, right? I know Bear well enough to know that he may not watch it every day, but eventually he will watch it once in a while, and he would like to have the show still be on. Bear Clooney watches. I apologize about my outbursts and misunderstandings of the whole situation. Yep, I totally get it, Bear. I think a lot of folks are just hopping in, trying to see what's going on, and but yeah, it was. And again, right, like this isn't really about pointing fingers about who wrote emails to Lust, right? Like I don't really, I don't really think that's the point. I think it's important for everybody, right here, right now, to understand that there is definitely an organized effort to go after Archie, and not only the term going after, people think it's like, oh yeah, it's just Watch Nicholas doing shtick is going after. No, I'm talking about like certain individuals, not being named here because we don't know who they are contacting other channels that are outside of the Archieverse, because they have a history of quote unquote exposing, and trying to entice them with money, right? Like this individual clearly sent Lust playboard figures of Watch Nicholas and saying, hey, if you join this effort to cancel Archie, you're going to make this kind of money. And obviously, whoever wrote this email to Lust, as you guys have seen throughout this show, didn't understand that Lust is kind of, they didn't understand the playing field between Lust and and Watch Nicholas. So really, really strange, really strange emails. But like I said, again, if you guys really want to find out who it is, it's pretty easy, I would say, to find out whoever's commonly from the Archieverse that also goes to the Lust's channel that's not in the United States. I mean, it's it'll probably narrow it down to a few people, and then you can kind of tie it together around who was very vocal against Archie in June. Lust says, I only really explored the Archieverse after the emails. Yeah, like Lust, there's a lot of effort out there, and again, guys, like Watch Nicholas wasn't the first to go after Archie, and he won't be the last, right? Like I'll give you examples, and I'm going to name names that many of you don't know, right? There was a guy, rest in peace. He's passed away a couple of years ago, named Adrikos, Andy Hunter. He used to go after Archie all the time. He used to go after Suckerhorn all the time. Concerted effort to try to, take Archie down, take his channel down, troll Archie, post up stuff about, there was tons of channels that have tried to go after Archie and take him down. I think the major difference is, it was at a different time. Archie was a lot more involved in the drama. Guys like Neo, Bear Clooney, myself, people that were really around back in those days. I mean, Pavel maybe, back in those days, would remember Archie was joining in on, he was joining in on the fight, and to defend his own channel. And I can't find this video. So if anybody, as an OG can ever find the video, Archie did a video about Andy Hunter's fake Patek Philippe Nautilus, and it was really, really funny, because if you think of all these, like, all the shticks that are going around about fake watches and this and that, I mean, this is kind of a repeat of history, because I've seen it like 10 times, and I've seen, lots of channels go after Archie and try to cancel him, and, I mean, the Archieverse is pretty resilient, right? The fans are very, very supportive of the Archieverse, whether that's in the chat, via super chat, via memberships, commenting in the chat. You see a guy like Discount, right? It's been here for years, comments on almost every video, right? Is always in the chat. Angelic Slayer, if you go back and watch videos from 6 years ago, you can find Angelic Slayer in the comments, right? Like, it's kind of cool when you go back and watch these old videos and you see people's names that you recognize that are still here. Those guys will remember those times. So like I said, this isn't the first effort to go after Archie, but this is a very organized effort to go after Archie. Yeah, man, nice to see you, Lus. Again, congratulations on the news of becoming a new dad. And yeah, man, look forward to having you come by. And yeah, man, if you ever want to go on a panel, I'd definitely recommend Mookie's show, because Mookie definitely does a cool panel and a cool show. The gangster says SD43. How do you spell apologize? No, we're not trying to accuse people of we're not trying to accuse people of being the person or the individual that has emailed Lus. It's just more about public service announcement for the Archieverse. Like there's no denying that there is a concerted, organized effort to try to cancel Archie, and people are going to use whatever tactic it seems. Whether that's sending clips or trying to entice other channels with money to join their fight, right? Like I don't know what it is, but definitely very, very. It was eye opening, because the reason why I did this dungeon is, like Lus pointed out, there's not much crossover between his show and the Archieverse. So and he himself didn't even know that this was even a story, right? He was just more talking about Watch Nicholas's channel, which is is no longer up. I don't know if it was deleted by YouTube. I don't know if Watch Nicholas took it down himself. What I do know, which is fact, is YouTube removed his video due to I think it was like nudity or sexual content. I heard Curly say it on Mookie's show yesterday that Watch Nick was playing the clip, the titty swipe clip, that's it clip on loop for a number of minutes. Watch Nick said that his stream was taken down within a minute and 20 seconds. I mean, that to me kind of points to YouTube algorithm taking his stream down. I've heard he's trying to say that like OC reported it and it got taken down. I mean, fuck that. I mean, that clip has struck like almost even Doc's admitted himself an hour ago that it struck his own channel when he was trying to use it. Curly's admitted it that it's definitely struck the dungeon. So in my opinion, this is probably a miscalculation on Nick's part. Not the first time he's done a miscalculation. He lost his Watch Nicholas live channel. I'm of the belief that he lost that channel because at the time he was multicasting. He was running the live stream on both the Watch Nicholas channel, the one that's just been taken down, and his old one, what was called the Pakistani Travel channel, the Watch Nicholas live channel. He was multicasting his live stream against both, and then the live channel got taken down and was gone. So yeah, just I think personally, from what I see and just kind of looking at the facts, like a minute in, you're playing it on loop. It's a known video that has had problems. Like I would say that this is probably pretty much damage done to himself. But again, the narrative that doesn't necessarily suit the narrative and/or make money, right? Like, no one's going to really pay for a sob story. They're going to pay for the scandal that OC caused all of this, guys. But look, Archie is live. I'm going to send you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching. This was The Dungeon. I am The Narrative, and I will see you guys next time. Let's do a short clip, and then we be out. Take care.